everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, where we lost. Stupid freaking head trauma. God, nonsense. I hate it. We got no damage. Well, we got one damage upgrade. Let's do Darkness Falls. I was thinking, like, should we bounce back and forth between challenges and normal runs? We could or we could not. It doesn't really matter, I think. You know, we're going to do it all eventually. So let's strike while the iron's hot. R8, 4G, FPC4. Darkness Falls gives you... You're, like, unbelievably stacked right off the bat. We have literally quadruple the damage we started our last run with. Although... not quite as great of an ability to fire tears. Although we can actually aim our tears. So it's really, like... It's kind of a toss-up. In fact, I would say our last run was definitely better, and that's not any joking at all involved there. So if you laughed at it, that's harassment, and go screw yourself. I was being extremely, very serious, okay? Just by virtue of having Sack Dagger, we are the cop who can't be stopped right now. We will... I mean, I actually forgot that this is a challenge that existed. I sort of don't understand the unifying theme behind these items. Except, I mean, they are all deal with the devil items. They're all like a little evil. They're all, maybe these are all the evil upgrades in the game? But that doesn't seem right. Whore of Babylon, is that an evil upgrade? Is Dead Bird an evil upgrade? I don't know. They're all items that have a certain macabre nature associated with them, I suppose, is the easy way to think about them. Now, in many ways, we have to be careful because this is kind of similar to our last run where we are a little incentivized to, like, deliberately lose all of our HP, and if we, well, all of our HP up to a certain maximum. And if we do that, it's obviously going to be very hard for us to win, but at the same time, this run is so much stronger than the last run that it's almost comical. And you know what? I'll say the same thing that I always said when I messed up challenges in earlier videos. I can't see what card it was because Gassy Mexican is signed on to play Move or Die. I gotta turn off those Steam notifications, dude. But hey, Move or Die, now that's an interesting game. That game has stood the test of time, I think. It's got some netcode that's not perfect, but you know, probably the best Mario Party style game on PC that I can think of, so kudos to you. I don't know if I ever told this story, but the Move or Die guys at PAX East 2015, apparently they were fans of the NLSS or savvy and knew who we were and were like, hey, maybe they'll play the game on the show if we butter them up a little bit. I don't know which one's the case, but they had us record like a video testimonial that I don't know if it ever saw the light of day, which is fair because I was like jet lagged and sleep deprived, and we had spent the night in the emergency room that night. It was like, it couldn't have been a glowing endorsement. But anyway, what's the pill? Bad gas. Don't you dare. Have we ever had Lump of Coal on this save file? Or sorry, not Lump of Coal. Have we ever had Krampus's head on this save file? I say that just because I've fought Krampus like once per video today, and this is like the third, actually it's the fourth Isaac I'm recording today, and I think he's given us Lump of Coal every single time so far, which is great. Like, I'm 0% complaining, but yeah, I mean, this run is comically stronger than our last one. What I was gonna say is that I'll say what I say on every challenge run where I lose. I like losing on challenges because it means that it's not just a themed run that you steamroll, it's actually a challenge. I'm not saying that it should fit the name. You know, I'm just saying it's more enjoyable when there's when there's stakes at play. Speaking of which, what's your favorite kind of steak? I don't know why I said that as if I was like Vsauce, but that's my favorite kind of steak actually, is a Vsauce. Anything in a demi-glaze Vsauce is fine by me. Demi-glaze Vsauce, made of chanterelle mushrooms. Anyway, I'm gonna be honest with you. For a while, I didn't know. I probably would have said, oh yeah, no, New York strip loin. Because when you go to like a fast casual restaurant, that's like the most expensive thing on the menu, so it's gotta be good. Then you realize as you get older, there's a whole world of steaks out there. And I think even up to like relatively recently, I probably would have said ribeye. Because ribeye, I don't have any bombs. Ribeye, A, delicious. Let's go down the pros and cons of the steaks here. Ribeye, delicious. Also trendy. And I don't mean that to be like, oh, it's hipsters eat it, but the ribeye is, I think, the trendiest cut of steak. It's what all the millennials like yours truly are eating in this day and age. That's how you use yours truly, right? Yours truly is like me, I thought. That's why they always, at the end of the letters in the olden days, they always wrote yours truly, my name. Not my name, but their name. You get the idea. I'm assuming you get the idea. Cons, ribeye is mad expensive. Also, tends to be fatty. So if you're not into the beef fat, first off, who are you? Secondly, maybe not a cut for you. Then you got to think about, the T-bone. I think the T-bone is where I actually land as I get older and older. T-bone steak, cons, expensive. Still a little expensive for certain. And the T-bone steak is like, it's been forever ruined for people because it's what the bus driver ate in The Adventures of Pete and Pete, the old show on Nickelodeon. And he not only ate T-bone steaks, but he bought them cooked out of a vending machine. It was a show that was a little off kilter, and that's why people love him, yours truly included. But I grew up thinking T-bone steaks were kind of like a gross food because Stu, the bus driver, bought it out of a vending machine. But maybe it was like a Japanese vending machine, in which case it's all hunky-dory, right? Either way, what's the pros to the T-bone? The T-bone! Longest T-bone ever. No, you get the best of both worlds with a T-bone. You get a little bit of fat. You also get that delicious cut of tenderloin, but not too much of it so that you feel guilty about consuming it. And then, you get a little bit of the like very fleshy part of a steak as well. But I gotta admit, I'm a beef fat sort of man. I don't want a plate full of beef fat, but I know that my ancestors were into some savage stuff because when I like put rendered animal fat of almost any variety into my mouth, it's like my genes are activated for the first time ever. They're like, oh, you just killed your competition and ate them. And I say, no, genes! We don't do that anymore, okay? That's too far. You're being savage. On a literal level, and not a metaphorical, like, you can't say that on Twitter sort of level. But yeah, there's some carnivorous backstory. I mean, we probably all have carnivores in our ancestral history. It is, the norm. Makes sense. It's not like I'm a vegetarian. Leave it to me. I bought chickpeas instead of chicken breasts this week for my lunches because it was a lot cheaper, and I was trying to make a stand, and all of a sudden I'm like, well, my palate has really been awakened. I can't remember if I told this story in Isaac videos yet, but it's a long story short. I was in a grocery store renowned for being a little bit pricier. You can probably guess the name of it. But I've been eating healthier, so I meant to buy some chicken breasts, and I bake them in the oven. And then I shred the meat, and I use the meat as a protein for salads. But anyway, there was 6 chicken breasts, $48. I was like, I'm not paying that, and honestly, I think nobody should. Went over to the canned food section, bought 2 cans of chickpeas instead, fried them up with some spices, and they've been a delicious snack/salad ingredient this week. But all of a sudden, I'm pretending I'm vegetarian, despite the fact that I had a ham smoothie for breakfast. That's not true. But for a second, a brief picosecond, I bet you believed. I'm gonna avoid talking about animal fats, though. I don't think we need to go a whole episode into what is the best animal fat, because mostly we already know the answer. The best animal fat is duck fat. This is sincere. This is a story I don't think I've told, but my girlfriend in college one year, 18-month period in college, I got really into cooking. I would watch America's Test Kitchen and be like, I'm gonna high roast a chicken this weekend, and I would high roast a chicken. I would be like, oh, that looks like a great rack of lamb recipe. Even though a rack of lamb is wicked expensive, let's get a rack of lamb and roast that this weekend. A little bit unusual for a college student, I'll admit. But either way, she got me a very thoughtful birthday gift, which was exotic meats from a local butcher. And I was like, that's a great gift. It's an unusual gift, no doubt, but it's a gift that fit for the occasion. I still think, like, if I got exotic-ish meats as a gift to this day, I would be, like, relatively pleased with that. That, or, like, coffee is more my thing now, but still. And one of the exotic meats, and this is not that exotic depending on where you live, but it was for my relatively pedestrian town, was a duck breast. So I cooked the duck breast, the recipe I found online. I ate it. It was okay. I clearly, you know, I need more experience in that department to handle a fatty, sort of like gamey red meat like duck. But either way, I saved the fat because it was recommended. I cooked some potatoes in that the next day, and it's like, what is it, like caps lock is cruise control for cool? Duck fat is cruise control for delicious. Like, I did nothing different. I cubed potatoes, put them into a skillet, used duck fat instead of olive oil, and I was like, this is the best potato-based meal I've ever well, it's not really a meal, but you get the idea. It's the best potatoes I've ever eaten in my entire life. I would recommend it at, like, outrageously. Now, since that time, how many times have I rendered my own duck fat? 0. It's not, I don't think it's really advisable as, like, an everyday sort of thing. I'm just saying, you know, if you ever get the chance, if someone ever says, ooh, I've got some duck fat fried potatoes, don't go, ooh, that's weird. Trust me, give them a shot. If the opportunity presents itself, I think you'll be pleased. Unless they botched it, in which case, you know, tough break, kid, I guess. But I digress. It was a good gift. There was also, actually, like, a lot of it turned out badly. Because of user error, but I got, like, a Cornish game hen. I cooked it and I was like, this stinks. Whatever I did to this Cornish game hen, I should apologize to the bird for it. And the other one that was a hit was the rack of lamb. The aforementioned rack of lamb was like, I don't like making that noise, but it deserved it in this situation. Jumper cables. Not relevant. Tarot cloth. Always relevant, although I'm always bummed out that it actually does not work with the question mark card, but, you know, that's for a later day. Like TJ from the Weekenders. He says later days, right? I'm not misremembering that. It has been a while. The Weekenders came out just as I was getting a little bit too old to be watching one Saturday morning on ABC, so, you know, that's about where, like, my childhood ends. That's like the last modern cartoon. That and Rocket Power. Last modern cartoons I watched as a child. What a sad story. So we lost our last episode because we went too fast. I stand by that as the long-term cause of why we lost our last episode. So let's be smarter and slow it down a little bit and start to play better Isaac. Because I don't want to do this challenge again. Mind you, we will never have to do this challenge again because the odds of us losing are very, very small at this point. And this challenge is easy, so it's almost like not even a chore to do it again. But it's still, if there's no reason to lose, then let's, you know, try something wild and try not to lose. I know I'm probably using Sack Dagger too much. It's a bad habit, but it's also like a beautiful item. My speed is so high that I should probably take a cue from, you know, not being an idiot and just run circles around the enemies in order to get, like, black powder to just crush them, but what can I say, you know, it's no surprise to me. Sometimes I am my own worst enemy. I recognize, by the way, many people have pointed this out, one achievement that I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to or not looking forward to is 31 dailies. I mean, we got bigger fish to fry before that becomes a genuine issue, but 31 dailies, there's no way to accomplish. Other runs you could accomplish faster than you'd expect. Like one Isaac run a day, it's going to take us a while to do some of these. 31 dailies, or 30 dailies, you got no choice. It's going to take you 31 days. It doesn't get any, unless you got a time machine, it's going to take you that long, so at some point, probably well down the line, we probably will have like a month of dailies. Or maybe we'll have a month of, you know, one daily and one regular Isaac video a day. We'll see how the chips fall, right? I'm going to be a little risky. Little risky. Little risky. Secret room, probably. Did I already check there? I might have already checked there. And we could have done that and noticed that it never would have worked. But anyway, okay. We don't want battery, baby. We probably, and by probably I mean definitely want this. And then why not take compost? Like, we're not getting anything out of the razor blade. Compost I don't expect to be incredible, but at least it can accomplish something for us. You might be asking why you know, shopping at Whole Foods. Ooh, whoops, did I accidentally name the groceries? We all knew that if you see 6 chicken breasts for 48 bucks, it's at Whole Foods. The answer is that it was the closest grocery store at the time. I'm not proud of it, but it's the honest to God truth. I needed chicken breasts. It was open to 10, or open until 10. And it seemed like the appropriate course of action. You know what? Had it not been for that decision, I might not have discovered that it's very easy to fry your own chickpeas and make them delicious. Nice substitute for, you know, something that might be too expensive or, you know, relatively unhealthy to put in your meals. Oh, I almost walked right into that. And I just really feel like chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans, which I caught a lot of flack for saying garbanzo beans is a silly name. Apparently, they're just called garbanzo in Spanish. I respect that. I mean, it makes sense, right? I'm assuming bonzo means bean. Something like that. I mean, gar means garbanzos, garbanzo beans, but I wasn't trying to be accidentally racist towards the Spanish language, but we call them chickpeas, all right? Garbanzo beans is like what your 88-year-old grandmother calls them, and that's fine. She's stuck in her ways, but we're in a chickpea world now, okay? I think it's an underappreciated vegetable. They're basically like little potatoes, but, you know, they're used in... Nobody's eating mashed chickpeas. Actually, a lot of people are eating mashed chickpeas. It's called hummus, but let's try this on for size. Sure, that's acceptable. If you've never... And I probably did not eat a chickpea. And I know that we're bordering on accidental double entendre territory. I probably did not eat a chickpea until the age of like 20. Just never came up. Again, I was in a town where duck was an exotic meat, apparently. Dude, thank you, Hierophant, for allowing me to play badly without being punished. Like, there's really no excuse to be using Sack Dagger exclusively at this point. It's getting a little on the silly side. But anyway, thank you for that as well. And we're on the depths, too. This one's, like, cruising, man. It was love at first bite. Hummus, falafel. Fantastic. And the chickpea introduced me to the lentil. And it's been a, you know, a love-love relationship ever since. Guppy items, please. But if you've never found yourself having a chickpea, I'm telling you. Can of chickpeas, drain the water. Put a little olive oil in a skillet, get it nice and hot. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that much. We do want prop. You know what? Let's do it, dude. Go up to plus 14 damage on this one. And yet still somehow Sack Dagger seems like the faster option to get the kills. Weird. Anyway. Fry it up with some salt and pepper. Give it enough time until it's crispy and delicious. You'll love it. It's like a spherical potato chip. Chickpea doesn't get enough respect, man. Huge growth also crushes rocks, so we should actually be careful. This video, I should just point out, is sponsored by the United States Chickpea Association, centered in Alameda, California. Did I not put that disclosure in the title? That's my bad. Again, probably about 0.25% of the people watching this are going to think that that's serious and be mad. So it's really up to the remainder of you to laugh at that joke and make me feel like it was worth doing it in the first place. Thank you, thank you. I hear your laughter resonating throughout the weave of time, and you know, from the movie Wanted style, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much, really appreciate it. Okay. There's, again, no reason for us to do this, But I'm hopeful that this is almost like a Band-Aid style solution to me using Sack Dagger. And I said that without even realizing that as I was saying it, I was using Sack Dagger, which should tell you that it's probably not going to fit the bill. We should have picked up that Spirit Heart. But the idea is, now that our tiers are doing so much damage because they have Proptosis, we don't have as much of an incentive to get in there with Sack Dagger right off the bat. You know, we're a little bit more incentivized to preserve our HP. But I'm still, like, jumping in there with Sack Dagger at every available opportunity. I can't be helped. I'm beyond help at this point. It's like Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler, you know? We all know what the final scene of this run's gonna be. It's just a, you know, we're futilely raging against that good knight, hoping it doesn't come to pass. Come on, come on. Losing a lot of red hearts, too, but less relevant than it's ever been. That might be the final wave. This might be the final. I know we're getting close. I just have, like, I've been in this game a long time. You know, I've got a sense of the fact that we're coming close to the end of boss rush here. It's like, you ever watch a good movie in the theater? Probably, right? Try to. You have, like, a scene that you really like, and then you think you checked, like, your own internal clock, and you're like, could this be the climax of the movie? No, I hope not. I know this makes me like a little bit of a shill, but I kind of felt that. There's like one scene in Spider-Man Homecoming, and I was like, if this is the central action set piece of the movie, I'm gonna leave being a little disappointed, because I feel like this movie's got more to show me. There was like another hour after that. My internal clock was all sorts of jacked up. Ended up working out completely fine. Alright, well, we're balling on this run, clearly. We also turned our own bomb into a spider. Didn't know you could do that. I thought live bombs are kind of immune to that effect, but I'm not salty. It's actually kind of an interesting effect. I would like another bomb, though, if possible. It's like, not really too useful. All we gotta do is beat Shoal. We got kind of what seems to be a reusable fly army here. So I'm pretty sure that we're gonna finish this run being completely set. Now that is our first tiers upgrade. I'm so happy. Because oh dude, thank you. This low tiers is, I think, even more so than low damage. If I've got a great orbital and a low rate of fire, my brain is like hardwired to only use the orbital. If I'm shooting real quick, it's so much easier for me to just back the F up and then immediately take damage despite being behind the play for some reason. I'm worried I'm kind of like breeding my own bad habits here. But you know what? There's never been a better time than, well, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time to stop having a bad habit is right now. So let's work our way through that. Start playing well. We're doing 17 damage. If you can't be content doing 17 damage, you got a problem. It's as simple as that. You know, you're not being reasonable. 17 damage is outrageously good. Give me one bomb. I'm gonna turn the rest of these into flies. Thank you. Puberty. Speed down. Not that bad. We can absorb that. There's like a certain element of psychology going on in an Isaac run like this. Like, I know... Maybe see what's inside of it before you re-roll the entire chest. I know that deep in your heart, I still love... I know that if I didn't have Sack Dagger, I would be like, this run's incredible. I'll do it. Just let me beat Mom's heart, then I'll do it. I gotta hedge my bets on a challenge. You know why? Because I would do the opposite. If we had a challenge like head trauma, for example, and we came across a reroll room, I'm rerolling it, no doubt. That's part of the thrill of the kill, my man. So we gotta pay the RNG troll whenever we can, and I'll take it because I want to reroll as many items as possible. It's probably a very silly decision, but let's go. We got Leviathan. Got a charge bar. and regular brimstone. That's incredible. Magic mush. Our damage. We got magic mush, and yet our damage has, diminished. I'm not gonna fight Hush on this one. That seems a little ridiculous. But I will fight down here. I will say, 4.96 damage is way worse than 17 damage, but 4.96 damage with brimstone is still really good. We still have sack daggers, so that didn't go anywhere. We have shielded tears, so like defensively we're in a great spot. What did we lose? I guess we lost proptosis, so that cost us a lot of damage. But what else could we have lost that could have had such an impact, This is just one of those edge cases you learn when you play Isaac. Marked is always bad. Always bad. Unless you have a charged item. And if you got a charged item, then Marked is like actually one of the best tiers upgrades in the game. It's like some I before E except after C sort of nonsense, except it's actually true most of the time, unlike that old song and dance. Speed down. You know what? Nah, 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 wait till I get my money right. NL, you ever gonna come up with a song from like the last 10 years for stuff like that? Nope. I'm always gonna use Kanye West magnum opus 2007's Can't Tell Me Nothing. Excuse me, was you saying something? You can't tell me nothing. One of my friends back in 2007, we're still friends to this day, but we were friends back then too, to have like a little Mitch Hedbergism. This Kanye West's third album, Graduation. Where, yeah, it's before 808 and Heartbreak. That's another story altogether. But, Celebration. Graduation? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the first single came out, Can't Tell Me Nothing. And my friend messaged me, and he's like, I don't know, dude. I think this might be the end for Kanye West. That Can't Tell Me Nothing single is... I mean, it's alright, but it's no, like, Jesus Walks. I was like, agree to disagree. I think time has proven that he was absolutely right. I mean, you never hear anything about Kanye West anymore. My Beautiful Dark Twisted... What? No, I don't understand. There's no, like, that's the end of that anecdote. Anyway. Throw this bomb down. I realize, by the way, why our damage is not good. It is because we have Tech 2. So Tech 2 is always a damage multiplier, but in the less than 1 proportion. It's a damage multiplier, but it lowers your damage. You can still multiply things and make them smaller. You just multiply them by something that's less than 1. Mind freak. Alright, we've won. Easy run, but a little bit on the longer side because we went further. So that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We unlocked the Gauze Classic Rune. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time.